This leads us to what I call the threefold purpose of the International Coalition of Apostolic Leaders. And because this is adopted by the International Coalition, then it automatically becomes what we adopt as the United States Coalition. These three things are actually in our logo, and they represent a threefold purpose. So why do we exist? We exist to provide our members, number one, with access. Well, access to what? Access to one another. We provide our members access to people that they otherwise would have not met. And why is it important to have access to people? Well, because usually when God answers a prayer, He does so by sending a person. The things that I need in my life, the things that you need in your life, are often met by God sending us the right person at the right time. There are people you need in your life to be friends, just someone to walk with. But there's also people in your life that are further down the road. You need access into their life to hear their best practices, their experiences, their perspectives, their way of doing things. Not only that, we need to have the experiences, perspectives, and points of view of people that are unlike us, that come from a different place. We need access to people that aren't as far down the road as us. Why? Because we need to pour our lives into them. And so all around us, 360-degree orbit, are people with whom we need to gain access. And USCal provides that. Secondly, we provide exposure. Exposure to what? Exposure to new ideas. Because of that access, you can hear from people that have ideas perhaps you've never thought of, ways of doing it that perhaps has never entered into your mind. You have exposure to new perspectives, exposure to a thought perhaps that can be a key thought in your life that can trigger other thoughts. And being exposed to people from other parts of the nation, even being exposed in the international circles to people of other nations who are doing incredible works. One of the highlights every year is the international conference we have in Dallas. Most every year I take people with me because I want them exposed to the leaders from around the world that are doing incredible things. Besides access and exposure, we provide dialogue. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh, Mark, we don't need more talk. What we need is more work. Well, I would agree with that to some extent. But I'm not sure we need more work as much as we need the right work. And what differentiates more work without success from the right work that bears fruit is often a season of dialogue. Dialogue doesn't replace the work, it enhances the work. The dialogue that we provide gives us the ability to think through what we know that God has called us to do. The dialogue that we provide provides real solutions to real problems. The dialogue that we provide enhances our imagination, our visions, and helps us see the pitfalls before we have to experience them firsthand. Think about the dialogue in the Bible. Before God ever created human beings, He had a dialogue. When God called Moses and the children of Israel to Mount Sinai, He gave them the law in the midst of a dialogue. Moses and the leaders of Israel thereafter would read the law as a dialogue. During the feasts around the dinner table, the family was to have a dialogue. When Jesus called His disciples, He did so with a dialogue. He dialogued with people like Nicodemus. He dialogued with people like Zacchaeus. When He rose from the dead, He dialogued on a 7-mile journey with 2 disciples on the way to Emmaus. When He rose again and appeared to His disciples, He did so and instituted a dialogue. John's gospel is full of these dialogues. We could even say the New Testament letters that Paul and other apostles wrote are simply expressions of dialogues, probably around many tables that they had had before. Don't underestimate the value of a dialogue.